They are often seen as the kings of Europe's forests, as a symbol of masculinity and strength. But that is not the whole story. Red deer has so much more. They are vulnerable, social, and surprisingly adaptable. Their lives are full of twists and turns, defeats and victories. In autumn, excitement mounts in Germany's red deer territories. Clearings turn into rutting arenas, where the biggest stags compete to be crowned the most impressive of them all. The victor's prize are a number of females called hinds, and with that, the chance to sire a large number of offspring. 6 weeks of running and fighting around the clock. The lone big bulls often perform right to the point of exhaustion, though strength and stamina are only secondary. It's the roar that provides the key to producing powerful offspring. Deer hinds recognize the fitness of a stag without needing to see him. A deep bass has the best prospects. Out at the booming concert, they pick just the right one. To achieve this, females must analyze up to 10,000 roars per night. It's the female that has the final choice. If she's not convinced, he stands no chance. The hinds appreciate good manners. Already now it becomes clear who has the best chances to produce strong offspring. If he accepts her rules, and the optics, chemistry, and tone are all found to be acceptable, it can all happen quickly. Being dominant is a temporary leadership position. It includes a lot of stress and guarantees exhaustion. This red deer rut takes place on a military training area in eastern Germany. Many stags have passed on their genes here, paying a high price in doing so. Common ravens are often the first to find them. Alone, they're hardly capable of getting a few bites from the carcass. The conspicuous behavior of the birds is intentional. In order to eat properly, they need help to start the feast. The plan works. The white-tailed eagle has a much stronger bill and is a welcome guest at the raven party. As soon as a hole has been ripped into the deer skin, the buffet is open. The organs are usually first to disappear. Wolves are also not long in coming. They're quick to pick out the biggest choice pieces. The pack has many mouths to feed. As long as they are there, the others must bide their time. The following morning, a young wolf returns to the carcass. It knows eagles and ravens can devour the leftovers in no time. Eagles eat a lot. They are attacked first. The ravens also don't really get a chance to dig in. Actually, the wolf is already full. It's just food envy that drives it. The eagle is gone, but the ravens will stay for as long as there's anything left to scavenge from the skeleton. The rich mosaic of forests, heath, and wetlands provides optimal conditions for red deer. Playfully, two wannabe top dogs imitate the fights of the big stags. It's still an awkward, almost careful maneuvering. At around 6 years of age, stags can lay claim to their leadership roles. A long way to go. Already now, they look at the hinds with interest. One of the two, so it seems, even challenges a big stag. Broadside presentation to look as big as possible, made to impress. The royal stag, with 12-point antlers, pays him little attention. He just wants his piece. Nearby, white-tailed eagles gather in the hope of finding easy prey. Here, there's always something to find. A hooded crow is stuck in the mud. The young eagle also seems surprised. The crow fights. Its plumage is soaked. Slowly, its energy wanes. another crow attacks. Then something surprising happens. A parent bird wants to help. Others try to distract the much larger eagle. But it does not lose focus. White-tailed eagles mainly feed on fish, but they don't let opportunities like these go to waste. The ponds are a refuge for a lot of wildlife. The majestic macho does not notice who is in his way. He roars at the wrong opponent. A case of mistaken identity, and clearly of too much testosterone. In the shallow water, an otter sets out in search of prey. Again, the eagles are there. In a team, they try to steal the fish. Briefly, the eagle is distracted, and the otter seizes the chance. Autumn mists lie over the land. The red deer, recently still fierce rivals, now quietly move in harmony. Stags form so-called bachelor herds. The hinds and calves from the previous year keep to themselves. Winters are getting milder. The deer in these wetlands find good grazing all year round. Ideal conditions for the vegetarians. If the water doesn't freeze, fish eaters like the great egret can also get through the cold season successfully. Climate change has been having an impact for a while. Summers and winters are getting drier. If snow does fall, it does not remain for long. The deer now prefer to retire into the forests, between the wetlands and the military zones. They wander undisturbed through the pine trees. If food becomes scarce, they're able to reduce their metabolism to save precious energy. Fresh snow makes their paths visible. With spring come storms. The pines are often not able to withstand strong gusts of wind. For some, the fallen trees are irresistible. Deer prefer feeding on grasses and fresh herbs, which are scarce in winter. The adaptable animals now like to snack on fresh bark. Young pines have thin bark that's easily stripped off. A poor diet, but one that ensures their survival. Towards the end of winter, the red deer suddenly lose a part of their manliness. Proud antler bearers become bold deer for a while. The loss is the beginning of an astonishing phenomenon. Once a year, the deer grow a new set of antlers. At more than 2 centimeters per day, it's the fastest organ growth in the animal kingdom. Within just 120 days, red deer can grow about 10 kilograms of new bone. From this point, it will still take several months before the extravagant headdress comes to its intended use. Shed antlers are the excess of an extremely efficient metabolism. Rich in proteins and minerals, they deliver valuable resources to the forest residents. In spring, blueberry bushes carpet the nutrient-poor sandy soils. At first, the new antlers are as soft as velvet. Leaves and shoots of the blueberries deliver enough energy and resources for the first growth spurt. During these times, the bachelors lay the foundation for their strength and fitness, and hence their success with the females. The macho males of the autumn now roam around the forests quietly in herds. Only at night do the deer venture out into the open. They feel safe in the forests, but good grazing areas often lie near settlements. In spring, there is no threat from humans. The hunting season hasn't yet begun. Something else scares the herd. It's a young wolf. Alone, he presents no danger to the deer. Without alarm, they trot away to safety. Red deer are not necessarily forest dwellers. They can find their way in many different habitats. If they have the choice, they will always return to the open. Outside the mating season, males and females go different paths. If groups of females happen to meet velvet stags, they all behave as though nothing has happened. For all of them, the search for food is now the priority. These are the last days of togetherness for the females. In early May, when they've almost lost their winter coat, the hinds get more and more secretive. They retreat to small islands or peninsulas, lying well protected in the reeds. A week before giving birth, the prospective mother already checks the birth site. During this time, it's almost impossible to spot the animals or to find their hiding places. Nothing leaves the reed beds. Then it's time. If this mother is a high-ranking hind, this island could be hosting the start of the tale of a future top dog. Mixed forests surround the wetlands. It's the time of the stag beetle. In June, old oaks start to bleed. The beetles are attracted by their sweet sap. This tree already has an owner, and it tolerates no visitors. The landlord tries to take out its rival. If two beetles lock horns, a fight like this can sometimes last for an hour. In the end, the winner is the one sitting a little higher up. Back to the real stags. Virtually invisible, a calf ducks into the low forest undergrowth. All its senses are alert. For hours it remains here, motionless, with ears pinned back and eyelids rigid, outlasting the pesky irritants. Its heart rate increases if older animals are in hearing range. But even now, it doesn't move. Only once it receives its mother's signal does it venture out of cover. The calves live this hidden life for about 4 weeks. High-ranking hinds suckle their male offspring more regularly and for longer than young females. Those with strong mothers have a better chance of climbing higher up the deer hierarchy. In July, the hinds once again reform their herds, that now also include the calves. The time of isolation is over. This habitat is man-made. Even today, coal mining plays a role in shaping some of the east of Germany. After the retreat of the Ice Age glaciers, it probably looked a little like this when large mammals dominated the landscape. Steppe bison, aurochs, and red deer. Hunters followed in their footsteps. Wolves. It was from here that they once again managed to spread into Western Europe. The first wolves from Poland were able to gain a foothold on protected military areas. Today, there are about 13 packs in the region. This former mining area was transformed into a wetland-dominated landscape, one of the largest in all of Germany. Coal is still being mined here. When the heavy machinery is put out to pasture, nature will once again take over the reins. Many deer species around the world inhabit large floodplains that support habitat mosaics. Depending on the season and their needs, the animals can choose between forests, dense reed beds, or more open areas. Just like here, in Germany's Far East, with its 1,000 lakes, ponds, and marshy meadows. Here, deer calves have a lot of contact with water from early on. Where their mothers can wade comfortably, they need to swim. This makes it tough to keep close contact. for a moment. The little one is uncertain. The females in the herd collectively keep an eye on their offspring. None is left behind. They do not need to learn to swim. They master it instinctively. On hot days, these marshes resemble tropical swamps. To see red deer in the water in this part of Europe is something special. In Central Asia, probably the ancestral home of this species, many relatives spend their lives in reed beds and water-dominated lowlands. If the animals feel safe, they literally allow the zest for life to run wild in a dance performed by the young deer. Towards the end of the day, the hinds once again gravitate to the ponds. Water dropwort, which is poisonous to other animals, is devoured as readily as reed shoots and water plantain. Red deer have a long menu to choose from. It can include up to 80% of the plants in one area. This flexibility is one of the reasons why they are so adaptable. Where vegetarians thrive, predators will arrive sooner or later. Behind the reed belt, a wolf tries to pick up the scent of the deer. He's a scout. While the reeds are great for protecting the hinds with their calves, it also shields possible attackers from view. The mothers are nervous. They sense something is afoot. The animals gather in the open terrain. Here, the distance to the reed thicket is greater. After a while, the deer relax again, and with them, the other wetland residents. Right then, it happens. With their short legs, the wolves are far inferior to the deer in the water. Here, they are no longer able to follow scents easily. Their most reliable orientation on land. No chance this time. The wolves pull back. Those not fast enough are sent on their way. Things don't always end this well. One of the hinds lost her tail during a previous encounter. Deer can never feel completely safe. Wolves don't comply with the legal hunting season. Almost nothing has remained totally natural in this part of Germany. For centuries, humans have had an impact here, often dramatically so. Action in deer country. Tank chains now take over the role that was performed by large herbivores for millennia, preventing the forest from taking over. Not just by constantly tearing up the ground cover. Target practice continues, causing fires that are restricted to smaller areas. Special fire guards prevent the greater spread of the flames, while the maneuvers are still going on. Fire keeps the heathland free of trees. They are set in this region as part of the conservation management plans. Most insects and other small invertebrates survive the heat wave just a few centimeters below the surface. After the flames die, life returns. Even a young stag shows up. After less than 3 months, most of what the fire caused is no longer visible. Sandy barriers act to restrict the spread of fires. In addition, they serve the deer as a trail. Sporadic burning promotes diversity. The heathland then blooms even more intensely and provides a habitat for many new species. Among them, some from the steppes and semi-deserts of southern Europe. A breath of deadly exoticism lies in the air when a mantis hunts a grasshopper. A blue-winged grasshopper. Carefully, a male descends onto the clearly larger female. He stands a good chance of surviving the mating, if she's not hungry. But careful. Make a wrong move, and it's all over for him. In summer, this region is one of the warmest parts of Germany. In wind-protected depressions, temperatures easily reach 40 degrees Celsius. Right now, when the deer need to drink a lot, water becomes scarce. The last pools dry out, turning into muddy holes. At least they provide a chance to cool off. But soon, it will only be enough for just one animal. For a while, the muddy sludge has not been good for drinking. Storm clouds don't automatically bring rain. A number of consecutive dry summers have literally dried out the region. The deer sucks the last drops out of the wallow. Finally, after weeks of drought, clouds close in. Within hours, the pool fills up again. Humid days follow the dry heat. And with them, an explosion of pesky irritants. Louseflies, horseflies, and mosquitoes drive the deer crazy. Only one thing offers any defense. Constant movement. Autumn is harvest time. Here and there, some apple trees grow in the deer range, relics of long-abandoned villages. At dusk, life enters the orchard. The harvest is rich, and the apples sweet. Everyone takes as much as they can. The red deer are now raring to go for the season's highlight. The stags, that have been so tolerable, are again getting irritable and readying for a fight. And that has nothing to do with the apples. Something is making them nervous. Two young wolves take their siesta in the old orchards and enjoy the fruit. It will be many months before the deer need to start looking out for these two. The hinds are also becoming more tense, while their tolerance threshold drops. They only have a few days of calm remaining, a calm before the storm. And then he steps out. The contender for first place. The event of the year can begin. The revved up macho hardly knows what to do with all his energy. Then a rival approaches through the reeds. He's an imposing and well-matched challenger. The pond is transformed into an arena. Spectators are guaranteed. The highest-ranking hind in the herd always gets the first choice. The contenders are locked in the final act, fighting for the privilege of mating. To be the top dog on the range. The rival has been driven away successfully, but the triumph takes its toll. A young stag senses his chance. Is he really trying to lure the exhausted winner to engage again? Will the old macho leave his hinds to this young pretender that just showed up? Never. The lack of respect spurs him into action. The sight of a female inspires. Parallels to us humans? Mere coincidence.